Welcome to Field of View with Nerd Street Gamers, your weekly dose of gaming news. I'm DarfMike coming to you live from Breeze, where we're throwing our 1-year Valorant celebration party. So let's get into it. We've got a lot of news about Valorant. Let's plant the spike and get on in. It's the 1-year anniversary of Valorant's official release, and man, what a year it has been. This game's come a long way from being Riot's secret Project A that was first revealed to us in October of 2019. A game that had been whispered about behind the scenes of the FPS community for years. The CSGO killer, the next big thing, the game that was going to completely change the landscape. Well, it was first unveiled officially as Valorant in the closed beta at the beginning of 2020, when players, streamers, and personalities got their hands on it to playtest it and unveil it to the world, showing their audiences and giving their audiences a chance to earn beta keys to test out the games themselves. A beta that was so wildly successful that by the time the game actually launched, there was already a rabid fan base raring and ready to go. This is a game that's changed so much in the last year. There have been 6 new agents added, 3 new maps. We started with Raze added in the closed beta. We ended with Astra, the latest addition. Meanwhile, we've got Ascent, Icebox, Breeze, all coming in, shifting the landscape and real estate upon which we compete. And all this has done so much to shift the meta, but Valorant had a unique challenge to deal with upon its launch, something that no other game like this has had to deal with before. The pandemic year. Yes, it forced players inside and gave them a chance to test out Valorant and play different games and explore, but it also meant that they had to do so in isolation. There were no events, there were no promotional tournaments, there was nothing like that in person. And that was keenly felt for the esports side of things, where different scenes developed in isolation around the world. We've now got rabid fan bases in Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Brazil, NA, EU, each developing in their own little bubble. And all that came to a head at the first Valorant international competition, the Masters 2 in Reykjavik, Iceland, where teams from around the world went head to head to see who was the best, and it knocked our socks off, blew away our expectations. Over 1 million concurrent viewers at the peak. Bonkers competition, broadcast excellence, and an NA team in Sentinels claiming the championship, making a dominant run to assert themselves as the best team in the world. This game has shifted so much already, but there's still so much for it to do. This is a nascent game. It's its first year. I don't know what this game's going to look like 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 5, 10, but it's going to be different. It's going to be a whole different entity. This is no longer the game that was a shadow of CSGO. It's now its own thing entirely. And that's exciting. That represents a prime opportunity for Riot to continue to keep the game fresh with each new content addition, but it also represents the biggest risk to the game. Because with any game based around agent abilities and compositions, each new addition threatens to upset the balance. You can't have the agent be too underpowered or no one's going to play it. You can't have it be too overpowered or you'll irreparably shift the meta and force players to choose them or else be left behind in the dust. It's a tightrope of balancing to walk, but at least so far Riot has been doing a good job of walking it. And we'll have to see how they do in the future. One thing's for sure, this game is already a runaway success and it's not going anywhere. This game's got legs. This game's going to be around for years to come. Long live Valorant. A new gameplay trailer has been released for Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to the wildly popular Horizon Zero Dawn, and it looks awesome. Set in post-apocalyptic San Francisco under the ruins of the Golden Gate Bridge, there's giant mechanical monstrosities. Alloy's got all sorts of new tools and weapons to fight them with, slingshots, hang gliders, this, that, and the other thing. Frankly, it looks gorgeous. There are some causes for concern though. We don't know the release date yet. It's supposed to come out in late 2021, but we'll see if they stick to that. And it's also being released for both the PlayStation 5 and the PS4, which, if Cyberpunk's taught us anything, downgrading to last-gen hardware can carry with it some risks. So while the gameplay we saw that's supposed to come from a PlayStation 5 looked amazing, if you're planning to buy it for a PS4, maybe exercise a little caution before purchasing. If not, though, it's time to get excited for what should be a very shiny new game. Speaking of shiny new games, we've got a gameplay trailer for a game we do have a release date for, Far Cry 6, and it looks very shiny indeed. And by shiny, I mean wackadoodle crazy. There's all sorts of crazy improvised weapons. There's a gun that shoots CDs. There's a gun that uses a motorcycle engine to spin the barrel. There's all sorts of crazy wild kits. It looks like a whale of a good time, tearing around a tropical island, trying to overthrow the dictator, alongside your crocodile companion and your tiny dachshund companion in a little wheelchair. Seriously, it's adorable. It tugs at the heartstrings. If you haven't seen it, you gotta go watch. The game looks like a lot of fun. It looks wild, and it's coming out in October of this year. So keep an eye out for Far Cry 6 and dive in. That's it for this week on Field of View with Third Street Gamers, your weekly dose of gaming news. Now it's time to really kick off this party and get the celebration started. It's Valorant's 1-year birthday, and we gotta celebrate.
Wall raised. Last enemy taken out.